Demolition, and there's that right hand. They're duking it out, not by the right hand. Takayama.
Green trunks for the southpaw, the notorious Conor McGregor. Black trunks for the champion, Jose Aldo Jr. Conor relaxed, smiling. Oh!
Nate Diaz, you just shook up the world. How's that feel? Hey, I'm not surprised.
Welcome to this week's episode of Chingasos Combat Crew, your one-stop shop for all your combat news. You know I got a jam-packed episode of combat goodness for y'all. We got UFC 300 right around the corner, plus 6 fights I want to see, along with ChatGPT judging categories to help me figure out how to pick some winners. Jon Jones back up to his usual shenanigans. Kade Ruotulo MMA news, and more. What a fantastic week. I want to thank the Fight Professor Eddie and Cousin Nat, along with Professor Victor, for helping me get back onto the mats this week. Awesome week of training. If you are ever out in the Central Valley and you need a place to train some awesome jiu-jitsu, head over to Rivalry Jiu-Jitsu, located at 761 East Barstow Avenue, Fresno, California, 93710. Y'all ready to get into some combat news, man? I know last week we had some Merab Dvalishvili video kicking it down right, chasing Sugar Shane O'Malley, and he's back at it.
Oh, hey, Merab, what are you doing?
Bro, I find that this guy in Arizona, he was smoking too much. I'm going to take you to my garage now, and I'm going to train him.
Bruh. Oh, is that Sean?
Yeah, that's him, bro. It's hard to recognize because he's smoking too much.
Yeah, I understand. Good luck.
Thanks. We have lots of work to do. See you, bro.
See you. Good luck, Sean.
Sean, listen, bro. Listen. You have a big fight. You're fighting me, bro. You gotta stop smoking, my friend. Listen, I want to make you training. You gotta stop this. No more this. No more. Fuck this. Come here, bro. Come here. So when I take you down, when I go your leg lock, so you have to tap out 3 times. You have to tap, okay? Yes, that means you lose and I win. When I break your hand, see? When I break your hand here, you gotta tap out, same thing, 3 times. Yes, tap out, that's it. And keep punching you. When you go out, you don't have to do nothing. Referee will save you. That's it, my friend. You're good, bro.
All right, so that's Merab trolling Sugar Shane O'Malley, and I don't think he's going to stop until he gets this fight. So see what he has for us next week. All right, so let's switch gears here, and this is an interview from back in 2021 that Joe Rogan had between Daniel Cormier and Jon Jones. And check this out. This is DC dropping some truth bombs about Jon.
It doesn't really matter what.
He doesn't want to hear my reaction.
Please.
He doesn't want to hear my reaction because I will tell him some sobering truth.
Please.
Sobering truth is his history dictates and determines that the same thing's going to happen. That is his character. That is him at his core. I look at that young lady, the PR lady that's on his team now, and I see in her eyes, she knows she's fighting a losing battle. I look at his coaches. I see that these guys know that this kid will not change. He will not change. He's the same guy. He's rotten at his core, and he will continue to up.
Don't you think that people can learn from their mistakes?
Mistakes. You don't constantly make mistakes.
No.
You make mistakes, but you don't do them over and over and over and over. No,
says who?
You don't do that. If
Says
you
who?
know
I'll show
when
you
you make a
Jon
mistake,
Jones.
it changes you. You try to make yourself better.
Not necessarily.
And this is many times we've heard this speech. John, this isn't the first time you've told us this.
No, absolutely. You know
This
what?
isn't the first time you've told us that. So how am I supposed to believe this guy?
Cold, true, hard facts from Daniel Cormier 3 years ago. And if y'all have not heard, Jon Jones freaking back at it again. So apparently Saturday, let's see, what's the date today? Today is the Sunday. So this was on Friday. UFC star Jon Jones threatens to kill drug tester. Albuquerque PD responds. So what ended up happening to Jon Jones? So apparently, let me give you the whole timeline here. So this went down on March 30th, originally on March 30th, 2024 at approximately 4 o'clock at Jon Jones said house. From there, 2 drug testers showed up, one by the name of Crystal and another by the name of Jerome. So they introduced themselves to Jon Jones. They let him know, hey, we're here to conduct a drug test. They lay out the drug testing equipment, and Crystal places her phone on the table. Jerome then proceeds to take Jon Jones into the garage where John is going to proceed to give the urine sample. Well, time passes. Crystal's like, what the heck's going on? A lot of time passes. She goes into the garage. No one's in there. A little bit after that, Jerome and John are seen walking back out from the garage, and Jerome looks a little nervous and not sure what to say. At that point, John erupts and says, how much money do you guys have? Because I'm going to sue the crap out of you guys. Grabs Crystal's phone, begins to record them, and sometime after that, I believe, is when I check this out. So after he grabs the phone, and by the way, he's got no shirt on at this time. He refuses to give the phone back to Crystal, and I quote, he says, why you fucking people come so early? Mind you, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Do you know what happens to people that come to my house? They end up dead. John later agrees. Eventually, he calms down. Later ends up, I guess he conducts the test, gives them the sample, and there is a video that he released of showing him leaving John's house, and he high-fives one of the drug testers, pats the other one on the back, and they leave amicably. Doesn't look like there's a scene or anything at that point, but apparently later on, Crystal wanted to contact Albuquerque PD. Her boss then contacted her, and she says that she believes he was trying to talk her out of not filing a police report, which she apparently did anyways. So I saw this posted by MMA Uncensored on Insta, and it says that John was apparently arrested based on the allegations that he assaulted and threatened to kill a drug testing agent. John later on tweeted earlier this afternoon, said that this is fake news. This did not happen. He doesn't know why God keeps testing. No, just kidding. He doesn't say that. He just says he doesn't know why people are spreading fake news. But hey, as the week passes, as the days go by, I'm sure we'll hear more and more. But hey, I'm going to say that I'm not surprised. I don't think any of you out there are surprised. And unfortunately, this is probably going to put a little more time. This could potentially put a halt to Jon Jones's career for a little while. And I don't think he's got much time left. So we'll see what happens, man. But hey, thanks for giving us something to talk about, John. You never let us down, bro. Thanks. Speaking of not letting us down, how about this? We are less than a week away from UFC 300. That's going to be headlined by Alex Pereira and this guy right here on the screen. And this does not sound bueno for Jamahal Hill. So Jamahal Hill recently did an interview, and in this interview, he said, I'm 240 pounds right now, bro. I'm telling you, I'm a big boy. It's possible. What the fuck is a power advantage? You can be 1,000 times more powerful than me. I hit you first. What does that mean? That's game. I like that Aspinall fight. Tom's a great fighter. I've had fun fighting against him. So that's Jamahal Hill looking past Alex and also looking at conquering another weight class. So he's doing the same thing basically that Alex is, looking past an opponent and already eyeing somebody behind him. So I don't know if this is a smoke screen. That 240 pounds is freaking dangerous. I don't think anybody wants to come into fight week 35 pounds over, maybe 20, 25. But 35 is, if that's true, look for that to have a humongous effect on his cardio, man. And on top of that, he's coming off that injury. 240 pounds after busting your Achilles heel. Bro, that's why you busted it in the first place, man. Stick on a diet plan. Stay consistent, bro. From someone who trains inconsistent, telling you to be consistent. All right? Someone who is consistent is the Ruotulo brothers. And we got this gem that dropped earlier in the week because, you know, both of the brothers were on Friday night fight. Yep. One championship, did have some fights. The Ruotulo brothers were on there grappling. So go check them out. Kade and Ty. They both pulled off a sub. But they also, in one championship, also announced that Kade is going to be making his MMA debut at 167. And I'll give you a date right now. That is going to be, let me see here, August of this year. We're going to see Kade in the cage. And on that same card, check out what we're going to get. Mikey Musumeci versus Gabriel Sosa, the rematch. You guys remember they ran this back at Who's Number One, where Gabriel Sosa got a sick north-south choke on Mikey. And before that, Mikey was tearing it up. He almost looked untouchable. Let's see what else they threw on this card for us. Tawan Chai and Joe Nadawa. This is going to be a Muay Thai match, probably with 4-ounce gloves. Look for this one to be a banger. Liam Harrison taking on Katsuki Kitano. Another Muay Thai match, probably with 4-ounce gloves. And you know Liam Harrison's got that dynamite in his hand. So if you're not familiar with Liam Harrison or One Championship's Muay Thai fights, go watch this. Get yourself a Amazon Prime account, or go to Fonzo's house, grab a seat, and watch this, because you're going to want to watch this. It's going to be a good fight, man. One Prime on Friday nights has kind of been lacking this year compared to last year. By this time last year, we had tons of bangers. And this year, we're still kind of waiting around, man. So hopefully we don't have to wait much longer. But if at a minimum, we're going to have to wait at least until June. And we got another one. Stamp Fairtex taking on Denise Zamboanga. Anytime Stamp steps into the ring, it's going to be dynamite, because you know she drops bombs. She's not your typical little fly. Actually, she's not even a flyweight. She's an atom weight. She's even smaller, but she be bringing the pain. So I can't wait to watch that one. Stay tuned, guys. All right, so check this out. This was tweeted earlier in the week from Sean Strickland. You know, he's just been jumping on everybody lately, but this time he's crossed the line. So this is what from his X account. It says, my girl watches the TikTok, sadly. She keeps showing me Miss Peaches, the Barstool Sports guy's dog. And I asked my girl, what? Does this man have kids? No. Let me tell you all something. If you're a grown-ass, childless man obsessed about a dog, you got to rethink your life, rich or poor. Dude, who gives a shit? No one says anything about you running around in the desert with your chonies on, shooting fireworks up your butthole. Leave people alone, man. Let everybody live their own life. And Michael Chiesa actually responded to this. If you're a grown-ass, childless man hating on someone for loving a dog, you got to rethink your life, rich or poor. Dude's got too much time on his hands. Give Sean Strickland a second job. All right, speaking of second job, let's check this out. What do you all out there think about this? Just when you think the UFC cannot tighten the screws on the pockets of the UFC fighters, they go and do this. So they announced earlier in the week that now for all Apex events, every single UFC fighter will receive 4 tickets so that their friends or family can watch their fight. That's right, their fight. That's it, just their fight, not the fight before, not the fight after, just their fight. And as soon as their fight is over, they got to get out, because then the next fighters for family or friends are going to come in and take the place of that. What the hell is that, man? Why cannot the UFC built that whole arena? They don't even sell tickets. Why can't they just create a section for friends and family? How come they can't have 10 people? And why can't they stay for the entire fight, man? This is just, oh man, just when you think the UFC can't get any stingier or greedier, they go and pull something like this, man. I don't know, man. This is stingy. Is this stingy, or is this good business tactics? What do you guys think out there, man? Is this cool or not? Maybe I'll post something on the socials later on. Give us a follow on all social medias at Chingasos Crew, X, Insta, Facebook, Twitter, Threads, YouTube. Check us out. All right. Check this out. This is kind of fishy. So last week, you guys remember, co-main event of UFC Fight Night, Vicente Luque, Joaquin Buckley. Joaquin Buckley beats the crap out of Vicente Luque. And for whatever reason, before I even get into this video, I'm going to preface this by saying, I didn't know this, so maybe you don't either, but apparently there's some beef between Joaquin Buckley and John Krause. So back in the day, John Krause apparently kicked out Joaquin Buckley. I didn't look too much into it. I looked a little into it, and it kind of just seemed like personalities didn't get along with each other. So, but check this out. This is Joaquin Buckley talking about what he saw in the back of the locker room, in the back after his fight ended with Vicente.
Yeah, y'all already know who it is. Listen, it's something that's been on my mind something I feel like I got to get off my chest. Obviously, you guys know that I had one of the biggest fights of my career this weekend in Atlantic City. A beautiful win. But it's something that I saw and something that I heard that I feel like I got to confess to the world.
What you see, Joaquin? What you see?
So here it is. After my fight with Vicente Luque and me getting my hand raised, you know, we got done and got cleared for medicals. I got checked up on. Everything was fine. Nothing was wrong with me. So after I got done and I got cleared, I seen Vicente and I seen him walk towards this room. And in this room, I saw James Krause. I couldn't hear the initial conversation, but I seen James Krause hand Vicente Luque a ticket. And when he handed it to him, I could slightly hear him whisper in his ear, "You did a good job." Now, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that ticket was, but it's really been messing with me, y'all.
So that's some major shade being thrown at Luque. If what he's saying right now is true, I mean, how the hell did he see all of that? First of all, how the heck did they allow him to see all of that? Is this a made up story? Is he trying to get back at James Krause? You know, and because you guys remember, James Krause is supposed to be banned from UFC, so there's not supposed to be any fighters associating with James Krause. So I don't know where the heck this happened. I don't know if this really happened, because soon after this, Buckley posted a different video where he said, "Hey, I'm just playing y'all." Blah, 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 blah. But was that someone at the UFC contacting Joaquin and saying, "Hey, bro, you need to take that down. You need to make up a lie"? I don't know. But this sounds pretty sketch. I wouldn't have done this if I was Joaquin. Maybe he could have put up a different type of video if he wanted to blast James Krause, but I don't think this is the way to go, man. This is not look cool, especially if you're about to main event UFC pretty soon. Joaquin, keep your head clean, bro. All right, let's check this out. This is an interview here that I hadn't seen yet of
Мне нужны реванши. Я же сказал, сезон реваншей. У меня с кем были?
По порядку именно твое желание встретиться. Вот
Без разницы.
I'm going to destroy. Now, basically what they're asking him is, "Hey, who are you going to fight next?" And he says he's not interested in fighting Aljo because Aljo's at another weight class. He already knows that Sean's probably going to be fighting Marab. So a fight that would make sense to him would be Chito Vera. So Chito and Petr Yan would be a battle, man. And he also threw Henry's name in there, but he says he's not sure if Henry's going to be available or not. So Petr versus Henry Cejudo, Petr versus Chito. I'm here for both of those, bro. I don't care. Which one would you guys prefer out there? Would you rather see a striking, grappling matchup, or just a straight up stand-up war with Chito and Petr, man? Because we're going to get a different type of fight depending on who we see. But either way, it's going to be a banger of a fight. So I'd love to see it, man. Either way, we win again. All right, y'all. You guys remember last week, we did talk about the man on the screen right now, Brandon Moreno, taking a break from UFC. And what I have on the screen right now is a clip from one of the earlier Combat Jiu-Jitsu. Actually, I think this was like the first event that they did in Mexico. And it's Brandon Moreno. Yeah, UFC Brandon Moreno taking on Bo Brooks for their featherweight championship, I believe. And this was the first time in combat. Actually, this wasn't the first Combat Jiu-Jitsu event. I'm lying. What this was, though, was the first time in Combat Jiu-Jitsu history that somebody got KO. Check out these strikes from the top by Brandon. Look at this. He just starts cachetadas from the left. Palm strikes. Boss Ruben would be extremely proud of Brandon at this point. But I'm going to forward till we get to the end. And here, Bo just turtles up as Brandon passes guard, and he's just relentless on these strikes. Look at this. Full mount palm strikes. Nothing Bo could do. So you're saying, Frank, why are you talking about combat jiu-jitsu right now? What the heck is it? And did you say karate combat? I hope I didn't. But if I did, I apologize. Talking combat jiu-jitsu, no disrespect to the man, Eddie Bravo or Brandon Moreno or anyone else. But I'm bringing this up because the one and only Uriah Faber, who is the promoter of A1 Combat, is about to take on Jeff Curran in combat jiu-jitsu at Visalia Convention Center for an A1 event that's going to go down May 25th. I'm excited about this. They're running this back. This is an old school WEC event, and I'm here for this, man. If this is how the older guys are going to stay in the scene and keep competing, hey, I'm for it, man. If both of these guys have that competitive drive in them and they're still healthy, and they still got some fights left in them, man. Let's check that out. On the screen, this was the a screenshot from the wiki page of Uriah where he took on Jeff Curran at the time, and it was for the WEC Featherweight Championship, and it ended up being fight of the night for Uriah when he got the sub in the second round, and he won by guillotine, man. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this, man. So maybe the boys and me can get some tickets to this. If you're interested out there, let's get a watch party going, and let's pack the house, y'all. It's going to be awesome. A1 Combat, Saturday, May 25th at the Visalia Convention Center. Main event, Uriah Faber taking on Jeff Curran in Jiu-Jitsu Combat. All right, man. This is something that popped out. I saw on Reddit, and nobody's talking about this. Not Luke Camp, not Luke Thomas, not Ariel Helwani. I haven't seen this on. Y'all haven't seen this anywhere, but check this out. So this was posted by Anton Tabuena earlier in the week, and it says, so this was just filed about UFC/TKO executives Mark Shapiro and Patrick Whitesell. Check the allegations at the bottom. So you might be asking, hey, who are these guys? Well, Patrick Whitesell is an appointed member of the Governor's California Film Commission and an associate member of the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences. And he's also like a major owner of Endeavor. So he's basically owner. Mark Shapiro, on the other hand, is the COO of TKO. So I have on the screen a filed police report that was filed in March of, actually, no, not March 29th. It was filed. Oh, so the date of the crime was July 13th, 2022. All right. And if we go down and it says, describe how the crime occurred. Actually, let me go back down to where it says describe victims' crime injuries. It says head, neck, arm, back, sexual assault, PTSD, and shock of conscience. It says Robert W. Johnson was kidnapped, assaulted, sexually assaulted, and maced by Mark S. Shapiro and Patrick Whitesell. What the hell, dude? These guys are wild, man. This is some Vince McMahon stuff, bro. So keep your eye. I'm going to keep my ears peeled, my eyes peeled. And if we hear more, we will be talking about it. But as of right now, I think we might be one of the only places talking about this. So what do you guys think, man? Is this going to just, do you even care about this? Should we even be talking about this? Actually, I really don't care. Get these guys out of the way because they're giving our sport, our company, a bad name. Kick them out like Vince McMahon, man. They just keep the train moving, bro. We got enough bad news as it is. We don't need this tarnishing our sport anymore. All right. Speaking of tarnishing the sport, what about Manel Kape, man? This is Manel Kape doing Manel Kape stuff. Just like Jon Jones, you already know Manel Kape's going to do not quite Jon Jones, but he's going to let us down, bro. And what am I talking about? You guys remember we were pumped about this. I was pumped. Manel Kape was supposed to be taking on Matthias Nicolau at UFC Vegas 91, and it was going to be a main event. And I was hoping that Manel would come back, storm through, put on a performance of the night, and secure his spot as the number one contender in the flyweight division. But guess what? He's not, because he's not going to make the fight now, and Alex Perez is going to step in. Dude, this is freaking crazy, man. Check this out. I found this comment on Reddit. 2 fights since 2022. 7 fights canceled. 7, y'all. Hopefully he gets his act together soon, man, because we do need some more contenders in the flyweight division. All right. On the screen right now, I got the official UFC 301 poster. And I got to say, y'all, it's an awesome poster. It is sick. But I'm just not pumped for this fight card, man. I'm not. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to add something to it. But as the days get closer to it, And especially coming off of UFC 300, that's going to be a fat UFC hangover. And then we got this. You know what I mean? So we'll see, man. Maybe Usyk pulls off a crazy upset, man. Who knows? That would be the only thing that could save this card. Or Alex Pereira. All right, y'all. So you guys will know that we've been breaking down UFC 300 piece by piece, early prelims. Now let's look at the main card. So let's check this out. Bo Nickel taking on Cody Brundage. And this might be the biggest lopsided money line in the entire card. Bo Nickel, heavy favorite, minus 1350. Cody Brundage, plus 800. And I got the records on the screen. You guys already know. Bo Nickel barely has two fights in the UFC, plus 2 more in Contender Series, while Cody's got a little more extensive. You know what? We don't need to look at this because we already know what's going to happen. Bo Nickel by whatever the shit he wants, right? How about this, though? Charlie Olives and Arman Sarukian. Dude, I don't know, man. The money's pretty. I mean, check this out, dude. Anything plus on Charlie Olives is going to be good. And if it's still there tonight, I'm going to put a nice little chunk on Charles, bro. So Arman Sarukian, I'm sure the money's going to be coming in heavier on Arman just because he's younger, he's fought more recently, and he's coming off of a major win. Even though, actually, and I got these backwards here. So, actually, no, I don't. I'm sorry. So start over. 3, 2. All right. So on the screen right now, I got Charlie Olives. You guys know he was on a tear before he fought Islam, but since he's fought Islam, he took out Beneil Dariush in round 1 by TKO punches. Yeah, the same Beneil Dariush that Arman took out in just over a minute in the first round. So that could be wear and tear, could be Benny overlooked Arman. Who knows? But I'm taking Charles. Me and the boys will probably be doing a parlay super show later on in the week, so we'll dig deeper into these. But I just want to briefly comb over some of these matchups that are in the main card of the pay-per-view. Justin Gaethje, Max Holloway. I don't know if you guys have been seeing Max though as of late, but Max has been putting on the weight, and he does not look like a featherweight. He's looking like a big lightweight. So as we get closer to that, I like to see if this money line changes at all. On the screen, we got Justin Gaethje's record coming on a 2-fight winning streak, most recently beating the crap out of Dustin Poirier and getting that BMF belt, whereas Max has a nice little 2-fight winning streak with wins over Korean Zombie and Arnold Allen. But again, this is going to be at lightweight. This is Justin's neighborhood, man. This is what Justin does. So last time Max went up this way, you guys remember Dustin Poirier made it look easy. He kind of just bullied Max around. But this time around, seems like Max took it a lot more serious and added some serious muscle. So he might be wanting to stick around in the lightweight division a little bit longer. So no matter what, this one's going to be a little hard to judge at. So I got some ChatGPT stats that I'm going to use to pick winners. And this is one of the ones I'm going to talk about. So I'm going to save that for that. Co-main event, Zhang Weili, Yan Xiaonan. And at the moment, it looks like there's no odds on this, man. I don't know. So I'm going to have to dig deeper on this and look at the money line as we get closer to the card. But you guys already know. Freaking Zhang Weili, man, on a 3-fight winning streak. And she has just been so dominant, beating the crap out of everybody, man. She loves to get people down, get you in that crucifix, and just beat the dog shit out of you. Yan Xiaonan on a 2-fight winning streak. But my main thing here, everyone's hype on Yan. My main thing here, though, is 3-4 fights ago, she lost to Marina Rodriguez by split decision and TKO to Carla Esparza in the second round. You can't do that kind of stuff against Zhang Weili, man. So at the moment, you got a gun to my head, I'm definitely taking Zhang. And then in the main event, you guys already know, man, I'm for sure going Alex on this. But this should be an exciting fight. Main event, Alex Pereira taking on Jamahal Hill. And I'm also going to be talking about this in our next little segment in just a bit. But before we do that and get into their records, let's talk about this. Last night's UFC Fight Night, Brendan Allen taking on Chris Curtis for the second time around. You guys remember this was supposed to be Marvin Vettori. Dude, if Marvin Vettori would have showed up, Brandon Allen would have got his ass whooped even more, man. Brandon Allen, you're lucky Vettori didn't show up, man. I'm not going to get into too many. There's lots of decisions. I'm only going to go over the 2 finishes that were on the card. First one was on the prelims. This is Gene Matsumoto taking on Dan Argueta. And this is in the second round. And I'm only playing this because check this out, man. We got 23 seconds left in the round. Matsumoto's on top. Argueta's trying to fight for a takedown. He's got Matsumoto up in the cage. Argueta's about to sprawl out. He stands up and just cinches in this guillotine. 10 seconds, 9 seconds, rolls over Argueta, and Argueta just is like, yo, dog, I'm out. With 3 seconds left, he ends up passing out. So, damn, that was crazy. All right, the only other finish that was on the card came on the main card, and this was a major mishap, man. I don't know much about this Ignacio Bahamondes, but Bahamondes looked like a juggernaut last night, man. He looked like he did not belong in this weight class. This was a lightweight matchup. So this was Ignacio Bahamondes taking on Christos Giagos, and I believe this ends in the first round. So we got 1:48 seconds left, and up to this point, Bahamondes has just been dropping shots on Giagos. High kicks, body shots, right hands, left hooks. Check this out. I think he's going to hit him with the high kick just now. Look at this. Setting up that left jab. Goes up high. Dropping a couple feints. There's a leg kick. Right hand. Another right hand. Left hand. Just one shot, one at a time. But check this out. Switch his stance. High kick. Boom. And that was all she wrote, man. Yeah, so that was a nice little stance switch right into the Crow Cop left high kick. Cool. Not as cool or as quick as a Crow Cop kick, but I like that little shutter step into switching stances. Look at that. Switch. Boom. Nice. Bahamondes gets the finish in round 1. Let's see what he does next, bro. You look like a juggernaut, bro. All right, so check this out. I created this segment earlier in the morning after I had a little chat with ChatGPT. These are bangers I need in my life from UFC 300. So we got 6 sleeps until UFC 300. I'm going to go over the 6 fights that I must see, starting with this one. On the early prelims, Cody Garbrandt taking on Davison Figueiredo. So I asked ChatGPT, ChatGPT, if you were going to judge a fight, what would 5 categories be that you would judge to pick a winner? And they said, choosing a winner in MMA requires evaluating the fighters across several key dimensions. Here are 5 categories that are commonly used and widely accepted for this purpose: striking, grappling, cage control, defense, and damage. So I kind of lumped striking together there with defense. There was actually, no, I don't. I got defense down there. So never mind. Okay, take that out. Forget about it. So looking on the screen, Cody Garbrandt, Figgy. I gave 2 categories to Cody. I think that in the striking department, that belongs to Cody. That's his forte. That's what he does the best. Figgy does strike, but he uses his striking to set up his grappling, or uses his grappling to set up his striking. He's not just a pure striker like Cody. Cody's got that one-hitter quitter power, that sniper tactic. Going down to the next category, grappling definitely goes to Figgy. He is the black belt. Although Cody knows how to grapple himself, it's just not at the level of Figgy. Cage control I gave to Figgy just because Figgy is like, comes out like a bat out of hell. He's pressuring you. He's in your face. He's constantly stalking you in your grill all the time. Whereas Cody's kind of like, he just lets you kind of dictate. He's like, oh, you're going to come in? Cool. And then I'm going to strike with you. I'm going to move around. I'm going to counter you as you come in. I'm going to sprawl out on your takedowns. But he kind of lets his opponent dictate the pace. And then usually what happens is his opponents fall right into his trap. Defense, I'm going to give to Figgy only because he's been in so many 5-round wars and I can't remember him getting finished. I've seen it take a little bit of damage. I want to say in the last Brandon Moreno fight, didn't he come out with a shut eye? One of his eyes was pretty swelled up. But other than that, he usually makes it out of the fight and walking, not asleep. Whereas Cody, on the other hand, he's tasted the canvas a handful of times, and there's still a lot of questions on where his head is at in this fight. And as far as damage goes, I mentioned it a little bit earlier. I think that Cody's got that one hitter quitter type power that he can put you out in the blink of an eye. Whereas Figgy, he's just going to put damage on you over time, and he's eventually going to overwhelm you and finish you later on in the round. Whereas Cody can just take you out at any given time if you give him the opportunity. So using ChatGPT's 5 categories of whatever, 3 categories to 2, ChatGPT's going to pick Figgy in this one. All right, moving on to the prelims. Calvin Kade taking on Aljamain Sterling. This is Aljo's first party into the bantamweight division here. So let's check this out. Same 5 categories. I'm going to give the striking to Calvin, obviously, right? Calvin's the boxer here. Grappling for sure goes to Aljamain Sterling. Cage control, I'm going to also give that to Aljamain Sterling. That goes along with his grappling. He uses his takedowns and his strikes to pressure his opponents into the cage where he can shoot in for a takedown and take you down. Defense, minus that Sugar Sean O'Malley fight and the Adrian Moraes fight, he usually doesn't take too much damage. Whereas Calvin, man, got pieced up by Max Holloway. But that's Max Holloway, right? That's Max Holloway. And damage here, I'm going to give it to the striker. I'm going to give it to Calvin. So this is basically almost just like the fight before. 3 categories to 2. Looks like ChatGPT would probably favor Aljamain Sterling in this matchup. All right, moving on to the main event of the prelim portion of the card. Yuri Prochaska, Alexander Rakic. Striking here, I'm going to give the edge to Alexander Rakic. I think he's more of a pure striker, whereas Yuri, he's just like a crazy mofo, bad out of hell. I'm not going to come in with a game plan. I'm just going to throw the kitchen sink out the window and come at you with crazy spinning back fists, crazy spinning back elbows, high kicks, no guard, no defense. I'm just going to come in like a bat out of hell, like I said. Grappling, I'd give the slight edge here to Yuri just because Rakic has shown that he's been more of a striker. And Yuri can shoot him for a takedown now and then, but it's not his forte. Cage control, this one's a toss-up, but I'm going to give it to Rakic here just because he's been able to control his opponents a little bit better than Yuri has. Yuri he's more like thrives in chaos. And sometimes that chaos means that his opponent is leading the dance, or it seems like he's leading the dance. Whereas Rakic usually just takes control right off the bat. Defense, I'm going to give to Rakic again here because he does take less damage, whereas Yuri, he's just prone to taking shots, man, because he's reckless, and that ends up sometimes paying off for him, sometimes it not, sometimes it doesn't. However, damage here, I'm going to give the damage to Yuri, man. Yuri's got that crazy Euro, Czechoslovak, wherever the heck he's from, he's got that power to take you out. So again, just as the previous 2 fights, I'm giving this 3 categories to 2. Alexander Rakic. Is Rakic going to pull off the upset? Got to share this with the boys. All right. Next up, I got Charlie Olives, Arman Tsarukyan. I'm going to give the striking and the grappling here to Charlie Olives. I'm going to give cage control to Arman Tsarukyan just because Arman's usually the one being the aggressor. He's usually the one coming straight at you, just like he did against Benny. And I think that's probably what he's going to try to do against Charlie Olives. Just get in his face, take him down. I don't know. I wonder if he's going to try to take him down. What do you guys think? You guys think that Arman's going to try to chase Charles to the ground? Charles's ground game is on another level. And I know Arman's a good grappler, but there's levels, bro. There's levels. Defense, I'm going to give to Arman just because I've only seen Arman wobbled once or twice, but I haven't seen him get finished. Whereas Charles, we have seen that in the past. Damage, I'm going to slightly give this to Oliveira only because he has the more extensive history of taking people out and finishing them with chokes and his strikes. He's got more of that in him, whereas Arman's just getting started, and we've only seen him take out Benio as of late. So finally, we have here, same thing again. We got another 3-2 score with Charles taking the striking, the grappling, and the damage. So ChatGPT would probably favor Arman Tsarukyan in this one, man. Who are you guys taking in this one, man? I'm going to be posting these again to the socials later. So let's get some talks going. Let's get some comments going. Let me know how you think this is going to play out. Do you think Arman's going to take Charles to the ground? You think Charles is going to be chasing Arman? You think this is going to be a stand-up war? Are we going to see a 3-round war, or are we going to see a finish? All right. Justin Gaethje, Max Holloway. I was saying earlier that I wasn't too hype about this fight just because I don't want to see Max get hurt, man. But after seeing Max all swelled up, I think he's going to be ready for this, man. You guys ready? Let's break this down. Striking. I'm going to give the striking to Max, man. I think Max is one of the best strikers in the UFC pound for pound. Grappling, I'm giving the edge to Gaethje. Gaethje's got the wrestling. We just never see it. We never see it. Cage control, I'm going to say Max all day here. Max is usually leading the dance. Defense, I'm going to give it to Max. I'm going to give it to Max just because he hasn't been put out as many times as Justin has. I want to say the only time he has been against Dustin, I want to say, right? But the damage, guys, the damage. We got to give the damage to Justin. Justin's going to be coming in and dropping bombs. The longer this fight goes, the better it's going to be for Max. However, if Max can avoid the major bombs of Gaethje, then, hey, man, we might see Max getting his hand raised, man. And last one on the list, the fight I don't know if this is the fight I most want to see on the entire card, but this is one of the fights I want to see on the card. Alex Pereira, Jamahal Hill, main event. And here we are again, another 3-2 score. Alex Pereira taking striking, cage control, and damage. You guys know Alex got those leg kicks. I wonder if he's going to use those to try to test Jamal's leg out that he just came back off of surgery with. I'm going to give the edge of grappling to Jamahal Hill, even though he's not that much more of a veteran on the ground of Alex, but that's probably his forte. He's got a little bit better wrestling, and he's probably got better jiu-jitsu as well. I'm also giving the edge in defense to Jamahal Hill just because we haven't seen Jamal finished in the cage at all. So we'll see what happens here, man. This is going to be a close fight. 3-2. ChatGPT would probably favor Alex Pereira, and that's the way I'm going to go, man. So, again, we'll talk more about all of these fights extensively on the Parlay Super Show later on in this week. Hey, that is a wrap, Combat Crew. That's all I got for you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for watching this. We got, by the time you guys are listening to this, it'll be 5 more sleeps. So 5 more sleeps until UFC 300. That's all I got, y'all. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms under Chingasos Combat Crew. We're on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, X, Threads, and all other major streaming platforms. Apple Podcasts, YouTube Podcasts, Spotify, all that good stuff. Until next week, y'all, may your parlays hit on Saturday night. Until next week, Chingasos Crew out. Peace.
Demolition, and there's that right hand. They're duking it out. Mount Rival right hand. Takayama.
Green trunks for the southpaw, the notorious Conor McGregor. Black trunks for the champion, Jose Aldo Jr. Conor relaxed, smiling. Oh!
Nate Diaz, he just shook up the world. How's that feel? Hey, I'm not surprised.